welcome back to my channel. I'm Spook Sammy, and today I have some Am I the Devil posts for you. Am I the devil for asking to borrow my late mom's wedding dress even though she left it to my sister and flipping out when she said no? So my younger sister, 27, is getting married in October. Our mom passed away 5 years ago and left her wedding dress to my sister in her will. Yeah, I know, weird that she gave it to the youngest, but whatever. They were super close, and my sister basically followed her around like a puppy. My mom was very sentimental, and my sister played into that a lot, so I guess it makes sense she got the dress. Anyway, I, 30, got married 2 years ago. My husband and I eloped in Vegas. We'd been together for like 6 months. We were crazy in love, and we didn't want to deal with all the drama and money and family politics that came with a wedding. I don't care about having a big event. It felt mature and romantic at the time. But now that I look back, I realize I kind of missed out. We have like 5 blurry iPhone photos, no real celebration, and no moment that really felt like I was a bride. I didn't even wear white. And now that I'm seeing my sister plan her little dream wedding with everyone crying over centerpieces and dress fittings, I'm feeling left out. And kind of pissed, honestly. So I told her I'm planning a vow renewal and I actually want to have a real wedding this time. And I want to wear mom's dress. I said I'd take good care of it, I wouldn't alter it, and it's not like I'm trying to steal it. I just want one freaking day to feel like the daughter who mattered. She said no, immediately, no hesitation. She said mom left it to her and she's been dreaming of this since she was like 12. She said it's her connection to mom and I made my choice when I eloped. I told her she was being selfish. She already gets all of the sympathy points for being the grieving daughter, and now she wants to gatekeep the one piece of her mom that actually matters on a wedding day. I told her I deserve that connection too. Just because I didn't do things the traditional way doesn't mean I should be punished forever. She accused me of trying to make her feel guilty and said I was being manipulative. Our older sister took her side, of course, because they've always had some weird team younger sister bond, but a few of our cousins and friends say I'm being unreasonable. It's just a dress. It's not like I'm trying to wear it before her. Now she won't talk to me. She uninvited me from her bridal shower. She's acting like I betrayed her or something when all I did was ask. Was it really that bad? Am I seriously the only one who sees how unfair it is just because I got married fast? I don't get to have any meaningful stuff? I mean, I'm sorry for wanting a little piece of our mom on my day too. God forbid someone else shares the spotlight for once. I think OP's a little jealous. And I can understand, you know, like, I feel like it's another thing entirely to like watch somebody else kind of plan a wedding, even if you maybe thought you didn't really want one in the first place. Like, that FOMO will probably kick in when you see someone actually going through the processes. But at the end of the day, she did make her choice, and also her mom did leave the dress to her sister. Like, it's only now that OP is feeling some type of way about not having a connection to her mom on her wedding day. Like, I think it's all just tied to her sister getting married at this point. She can get married and have a wedding and have another wedding dress. It doesn't have to be her sister's wedding dress, or her mom's, I guess. They brought up the part in the beginning where OP says, I know, weird she gave it to the youngest, but whatever. This comment says, this bothered me before the rest of the post. You're not inheriting a fucking country. There is no order of succession. You're not more entitled to the dress just because of birth order. It sounds like the youngest sister was closer to mom, and the dress was given to her either because she asked for it and no one else did, or because mom knew how sentimental it would be to her specifically. I think that's a great point. OP doesn't seem to be sentimental at all about the dress. She just kind of cares about it now because she's a little bit jealous of her sister. Am I the devil for not standing up for my wife to go to my grandmother's funeral? To preface this, my grandmother passed away in February while my wife and I were separated. She recently shared with me that she stepped back from her relationship with my grandmother to ensure no drama. My mother recently shared with me that my grandmother did not want my wife to be at her funeral. This was the first I ever heard of this, and I'm conflicted. My family and I are very blunt and honest people. We don't like to hurt feelings, but we don't sugarcoat the truth to ease the blow. With this, I'm struggling to understand why my grandmother never shared this with me. During our marriage, I created a false narrative to my mother in regards to my wife. I also made my wife look like a bad guy while I am the victim. Recently, I've come forward with the truth of my marriage to my mother, to which she responded by sharing my grandmother's wish of my wife not attending the funeral. My wife has told me that she feels I'm not standing up to my mom, and that my mom will then refuse to let my wife come around while we were going through my grandmother's items in her home. She also believes that my mother is manipulating the situation to benefit her because she doesn't care for my wife. While I'm trying to mend the relationship with my wife, I feel like my mother and wife are using this funeral as a means to force me to pick sides. I don't want to start a fight by telling my mom that my wife will be going to the funeral or neither of us will be there at all. But I also don't want to deny myself the opportunity to grieve and lay my grandmother to rest. Any advice would be appreciated. I feel like he's just making himself the victim again. Oh, they're both using this funeral as a way to force me to pick sides, but like, you kind of did pick a side a long time ago when you decided to lie about your wife and make her out to be the bad guy to your family. This is just reaping what you sowed at this point. I've known people who did that clownery, using their partner as a scapegoat for everything that went against the wishes of mommy. You know I'd love to fly in for your colonoscopy shower, but Hilda said I need to be home to watch the kids. And only talking to her about the bad days and complaints, so all the mom sees is her child in misery being kept from her by a spiteful harpy. But his grandma clearly thought OOP's wife was awful because of his own words, and that's why she didn't want the spiteful harpy in her life or at her funeral. But even if OOP showed up with Ashton Kutcher to say that all these years of bad-mouthing her was just one big prank, that wouldn't fix the damage done. Though he doesn't seem to want to repair anything, just get over it. Yeah, that's a good point. He just is like, oh, but I lied, Mom, just get over it. But it's more complicated than that. We don't even know how long you had them believing this for. I agree with this too. This dude always and forever is going to be the victim in his stories. His grandma held the belief because he sold it to her as truth and she died believing that. Now, when it's starting to bite him, he says, I revealed the truth only to my mom and after my grandma died, like that alleviates his part in this. His stance of, I felt as if my wife was controlling when decisions had to be made. I felt like she voiced her opinion and there were no others. I was never open to accepting her way of thinking and I felt like I had to just accept it. I never maintained an open mind or even took the time to actually understand what she was saying or clarify anything. Speaks to his lack of communication and agreement skills. So his response was to lie about her, not actually have a conversation. If I was the wife, I'd be walking away no matter how much is at stake. Yeah, I would too. That's just not worth it. Like, does the wife know that you were doing this too, or did you just tell your mom? And now you're making your wife the villain again by saying, oh, well, she's going at it with my mom about this funeral when she doesn't even know why this is actually a problem to begin with. This is a mess, bro. My 28 female friend, 29, always picks on my girlfriend, 24. How do I get my girlfriend to stand up for herself? Oh, it's the girlfriend's fault? My girlfriend is a very soft-spoken and non-confrontational person. She's a fantastic girlfriend and I love her, but she needs to speak up more. Even getting her to speak out on things she might not like in her relationship has been a challenge, but now she does. I was very committed to creating a safe space where she feels comfortable to speak her mind. One of my friends is very aggressive and just downright nasty to my girlfriend. She will force my girlfriend to buy her stuff, call her names, etc. She has even occasionally gone physical. Now don't get me wrong, I love my friend, but if she can walk all over you, she will. Why do you want a friend like that? I'm trying to tell my girlfriend to stand up for herself, but girlfriend just prefers to avoid her entirely now. If I ask my girlfriend she wants to hang out with my friends, and my girlfriend will ask if she's coming, and if it's a yes, she will say no and stay home. I want my girlfriend to stand up for herself so she can go hang out with us, but it all seems like my girlfriend is scared of her and just avoids her. I would want to avoid her too. This sounds like an awful friend. I don't get why you're friends with her, and why don't you say something? I think the girlfriend should not be in this relationship. How do I, 24, explain a misunderstanding to my girlfriend, 23? So this is going to sound crazy, and I understand why my girlfriend is skeptical. Essentially, she stumped across some text messages between a friend and I. One thing about my friend and I is that we are big on body positivity. We both love working out, and so we send pictures of our progress and build each other up. It was never a full nude, but we do show off each other's bodies and give compliments. I can fully understand why my girlfriend misinterpreted these messages and thinks we were flirting. Sometimes the messages can come across as flirting, but absolutely not. I understand that we should stop our body positivity messages to each other, and we'll do that, but I want my girlfriend to realize this is more of an understanding. I should have stopped these messages when I started dating her, but it slipped my mind because this was all still purely platonic, but someone without context would probably think there's more to it, so I take responsibility for that. Way to downplay all this. Body positivity, compliments. I mean, you just know the kind of photos that this guy is sending this girl. Like shirtless, flexing photos, and she's probably taking photos of her booty and probably in just a sports bra. I also have to wonder what these compliments are and how they're worded, because if it sounds flirty, it probably is. Am I the devil for not buying a woman new shoes? I, 30, was walking down a busy sidewalk during my lunch break. I have a habit of kicking stuff I see on the ground while I walk. Stones, bottle caps, bits of plastic. I don't overthink it. If it looks like garbage and it's in my path, I'll send it forward and keep moving. Up ahead of me was a woman, probably mid-20s, walking in high heels. She was about 10 feet in front of me when she suddenly slowed down and came to a stop near the curb. I didn't think much of it and just stepped around to walk past her. As I moved ahead, I noticed something near her feet. It looked like a small, black, plastic object, kinda curved. I only saw the heel part sticking out, so I assumed it was trash or some part of packaging. Without really pausing, I kicked it. Not lightly, either. It gave a decent boot and it scraped forward along the sidewalk. Right then, she turned toward me and said, "That was my shoe." I looked back and saw her standing in one heel, holding onto a pole for balance. The thing I kicked was her other shoe, which had apparently come off just before I passed her. She walked over to it and picked it up, then pointed out that the toe and heel were scuffed from being dragged. She said I should pay for a new pair. I told her I was sorry, but I hadn't realized it was a shoe. From where I was, it just looked like some black junk. She said I should have looked more carefully. I told her it wasn't intentional and that accidents happen. I even brought up how if someone drops their phone in the road and it gets run over, the person driving isn't always at fault. Okay, but that's a whole different thing. If you're driving and somebody kicks a phone onto the road, you really can't do much about that. Like, you can just not kick stuff. And you can be more careful about the things that you're kicking. She said that wasn't a fair comparison and pointed out that I clearly kicked it hard, which sure, I did, but I didn't know it was hers. Some people nearby said I should just pay for it to be polite, but I don't feel like I was responsible. She's the one who lost her shoe in the middle of a sidewalk. Things fall, people trip, stuff happens. I wasn't aiming at it, and I didn't do it out of malice. Still, from the way she looked at me, I could tell she thought I did it on purpose. I didn't, not really. You're just kicking stuff hard down the street. Kind of crazy that he's 30, because I feel like just kicking trash and stuff down the street is something that kids do. Kicking rocks and rubbish around as hard as you can in the street and into the road where it could get flipped into a windscreen already makes him the devil. Kicking something right in front of someone is just odd, just like wanting to do something aggressive and startle her. Finally, if you break something, you apologize and fix it. Yeah, I don't know what this dude's deal is. I'm mostly confused as to how you could not tell that was a whole shoe. You just sound like an inconsiderate douchebag. Alrighty, well that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching. If you like this content or if you like me, go ahead and subscribe and I will see you next time. Okay, bye!